I don't know what you guys saw here. Let me try to go back. Okay, well, I talked about Newton Minow giving this speech at the end of the last segment of TV in 1961 when he worked in John Kennedy's administration. This very impressive fellow, Newton Minow, gave a very influential speech claiming that television, its content, everything on it, and basically at this point was the networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, and all the affiliates all over the country. It was a vast wasteland in terms of programming, because, well, it's just what he said. And by the way, his, which helped to spur, I think, public television a little bit more. It'd been around, but it spurred it. And I just wanted to mention that the co-author, Craig LeMay, is my cousin, my first cousin on my mother's side. And I looked him up. I hadn't really been in touch with him for a while. He has been a professor for most of his career. He started as a reporter, and he's done other things, but he's been a professor at Northwestern in Chicago for his career, and he's now living in Qatar as a dean of Qatar and still a professor, and he's involved with sports journalism, and he's testified before Congress, and he's just a very impressive guy who I think gets really good reviews on Rate My Professors. Anyway, a little sidelight there into children's programming, and this course, of course, is called Audiences in Media, last time I looked, and children are part of the audience for television, and I think that fact needs to be mentioned, and it could be a course on its own, children and television. So getting back to the players in the industry, these are the folks who are some of the folks getting into streaming. This is from your book, the cable networks, in 91 million, 90 million subscribers, ... But don't forget, by the way, that for most of these services, people are not paying a separate fee. It's just included in their cable bill. So what these cable networks have done is to get the cable providers, the Comcasts, the Spectrums, etc., Charter, to include their channel in the free offering, and then pay the cable network some percentage of the cable revenue, the monthly revenue that's sent in some percentage goes to each one of these networks. And the networks also have the opportunity to sell ads. Okay. So we looked at lots of different players there, and we also established that there's lots of consolidation going on here, there, and everywhere, and an overall move to streaming for sure. Couple of trade associations, the Cable Advertising Bureau, the CAB, by the way, is now called the Video Advertising Bureau, so they want to focus more on the type of content than on the wires. I'm just going to quickly click to their website. I used to know these guys pretty well. They were clients of mine. In fact, a little company I was working for a while, we shared, because of my relationship with at that time, the CAB, we shared office space with them, so I knew what these guys did. And so now it's the Video Advertising Bureau, and just like the other trade associations, yes, take my firstborn, they are selling video conversation, right? Got research. They're the voice of the video industry. So wherever you're watching, there you go. Insights, all kinds of things. And, these sites are always worth, look at this, already a resource guide to COVID-19. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. They've already got information about what to do about COVID-19. My, how about that? So they're helping market. They're basically, the members are the cable networks still, and the local cable companies and the big MSOs. These are the members. These are the people who are financially supporting this organization. And the organization is, in turn, helping them market to advertisers and helping them represent themselves to the government, the Video Advertising Bureau. Oop, opened it 2 times. And here we are back with this. So now we've got to go back here. And I'm now going to show you the TVB, Television Bureau, which basically is there to represent the local, the local channels, local media marketing solutions, the Television Bureau. So these guys don't represent ABC, CBS, and NBC. They represent local TV stations. Okay, and they've got a media comparison study. You see they're looking at all the different devices people are looking at their video. Okay, so broadcast TV viewership during coronavirus. So here again, look at this. Everybody's really up to date here. How to keep coronavirus from spreading around your station. There's a video on that. Okay, so that's the TVB in a quick look. Those are 2 of the big trade associations for television. And so, yeah, okay, so TV's in flux, and those are all the players. And, talking about the industry and the market and where it's going, is it TV when it moves to another device, or is it video, or is it cable, or is it broadcast, or is it spot, or is it, what is it? Because after all, if it's video, videos run on every website. Videos are on Facebook. Does that mean Facebook is a TV? Is TV spending if I buy a video on Facebook? Right? It ends up getting a little confusing as to what television really is. And as of now, no. If I buy a video on Facebook and it runs on a mobile phone in your feed, that goes down as mobile advertising or internet advertising. It's not TV advertising. So is it video? Is it the hardware? What is it? And this is one reason why because this confusion between devices and wires and content and what's video, what's TV, what's internet. It's all kind of coming together, right? Really is what's going on. And that's why it's in flux, as we said. So here is, I'm just going to kind of put up some of the reasons why everything seems to be in flux in this thing called television, right? So everybody's getting into streaming now. Whole new thing ever since, was it Netflix that put up that darn political show I can't remember the name of, and they decided to load up the whole season, and bang, it changed the world, at least in terms of appointment viewing. Sports and news, and maybe some reality shows are the only appointment viewing. On subscription TV, where are the ads? Yeah, okay, there's some on Hulu. They at least have a couple of levels of subscriptions. But hey, if everybody's going to watch Netflix and Amazon, how the heck are we going to convince them to buy our Cheerios? Whoa. And even before that, before there was streaming, all these pesky people out there are, fast forwarding through the ad pod because of TiVo and DVRs and things like that. So they're blocking ads on their TVs, just like they're blocking them on the internet, right? So that's a problem for advertisers, and it's another reason why television and the media business and advertising, the whole thing is in flux. A lot of changes. More and more companies are creating content and offering it online, like Apple now creating content. As we've been saying, I can watch a video on all kinds of different devices now. Does that mean it's television or video or internet or what the heck is it? And based on the device I'm watching it on, guess what? The impression definitely has different qualities, doesn't it? We've got this industry consolidation going on with AT&T, which used to be in the phone business, uh, buying HBO, which is in the content business, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Comcast and NBC. We've got the issue of clutter because where there is advertising on television, they're trying to put more and more of it, stuff more and more of it in there. So your ad runs along with a lot of other ads. Boy, that's rough. It's like walking through Times Square almost. At least they're not trying to reach you all at once like they are in Times Square. By the way, this other little entity is kind of little, but still. You may recall when we talked about out of home some time ago, I showed you the website of an organization called the DPAA, Digital Place-Based Media Association. That's all the video running outside of your home in health clubs and malls and elevators, these videos. Hey, they're trying to compete with Spot TV and local cable. They're not going for out-of-home dollars. They're saying we're TV on the go. So these guys are in there trying to get a piece of television. Oh, well, look, coronavirus, it's not a small thing. This is a big thing that's hit us here. And it's putting things even more in flux. And we're going to look at that. We've got a couple of more ideas to share about that in a second. And one of the ideas is, hey, we're all supposed to stay home for a while yet, probably. Unless you live, I think, in Florida or Mississippi and maybe a few other states. We're supposed to stay home and isolate, and do social distancing if we do go out, but we're supposed to stay home. So what the heck is going on here? Well, of course, the joke is everyone's sitting on their couch watching Netflix and, working from home, I guess, when they're not watching Netflix. But isn't that going to pump up the viewership of in-home media? Isn't that going to have an impact? Everybody's home all the time. And by the way, all sports, because of coronavirus, are canceled, including the Olympics, number one, in terms of viewership worldwide and TV programming. Olympics is put off, postponed, canceled. What does that do to the industry? Puts it in flux, right? So, remember we talked about this way at the beginning of our talk in part one, how it affects consumer behavior, how it will affect media. And things like this, when last time we had a major blackout in New York City, I remember in the 70s, in the 77 or so, I think it was, there was a population boomlet 9 months later. I mean, these things that happen to us that cause major changes in people's behavior, like staying indoors all the time and not going out to shop, etc., go to movies, get your hair cut. These things can have a long-term impact. These could change permanently some things that we do. We won't be doing things we used to do. We'll do things in a different way. This could happen. One example, Facebook's getting more traffic because people are home. Skyrocketing usage all over the world. All 45,000 employees are working from home at the same time. So there are two big things going on with Facebook. And let's not forget out of home. I mean, if everybody's in home, who the heck's looking at out of home? I'm paying millions of dollars for my Times Square signage every month, maybe. Particularly if I'm at I think we're looking at those cars are going downtown. So that is number 2 Times Square. The most expensive out of home in Times Square are the number 2 and number 1 Times Square, which bookend Times Square. Well, boy, I'm not getting my money's worth, am I? Not just there, but everywhere and out of home. So nobody's driving, nobody's traveling. Okay, we're at the end of our 15 minutes. We're just about done, I think, just about one more, maybe